The following is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Holy crap, guys. 60 subscribers in a month. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is phenomenal. What up, y'all? It's time to hit y'all with part 3 of What If Deku was Spider-Man. It's been a week since the events of the stick-up. Deku was currently enjoying lunch with Herman. I tell you what, man. So happy that I'll be free of that fool Cottom. Herman was elated, and Deku was smiling as well. Deku made it official by handing him a green lab coat, once again hooded, with his name on it. Welcome to the team, Herman. You start after lunch. Your lab is being transferred as we speak. Fade to Cottom swearing up a storm and then making a phone call claiming that Deku sniped his talent. That got shot down. Deku followed procedure. It's not like it's his fault that Cottom didn't check his mail, that Herman made sure to misplace. Cottom was red with anger, but wasn't stupid enough to lash out at Deku. That would end very poorly for him. About an hour after work at an Oscorp construction site, Deku was in costume doing some training with Katsuki. Suit's pretty slick, webhead. Rio says you're up to snuff, and that incident with my dad proves it. But you gotta do more with your powers than just stealth. Deku wanted to test his webbing as well as see if he could actually follow through with using it for travel. He pulls a Miles. You know exactly what I mean. And that's when Katsuki chimes in. Don't be a punk! Man up and jump. Worst case scenario, you don't make it. That's what the webs are for, right? He was right, and that was all the push he needed to make the jump. He didn't put quite enough force into it and compensated with his webs. He does a dance of victory before he realizes he has a few more buildings to deal with in the first place. By the way, Katsuki is at the tallest building and holding on to some binoculars. Come on, get up here. Katsuki tells his friend. Deku does the math and decides to swing to the building and then run up the wall using his web sling. He was feeling kind of lazy today. Katsuki made a comment on how the computer calculated a cooler looking route, and Deku mentions cool isn't always efficient. Katsuki gets the point and tries the course in reverse, using the improved gauntlets Deku made for his hero exam. Katsuki was a little miffed that Deku was going straight to being a hero, but he's proven he had what it takes. Katsuki gives it a try in reverse, like I said. Per Deku's instructions, he used small explosions to slow his descent and land on most of the targets that were placed for him in mind. With that done, the two would part ways here if possible, but Katsuki needs a ride. His dad wasn't quite ready to drive, and his mom was helping him recuperate. Thanks for the ride and training, Deku. You should take the actual test instead of the recommendation. You do awesome with your powers, but I guess that would make the mask a moot point, huh? The two have a hug and Deku goes in his home while Katsuki gets a ride home from the driver. Deku was happy that Katsuki at least understood that much though. Spider-Man can be a known hero. Deku can be a known genius. But no one must know they are one and the same. Not now, at least. A knock was heard at Deku's door. Come in. In stepped his mother, Inko, with a serious look on her face. Oh boy, this was going to be an interesting conversation. There was a lot of harsh talking coming from Inko. She was not happy for being kept in the dark as long as she was. I'm gonna save you all the harsh words because I don't think anyone wants to hear angry mom at the moment. But I gotta give you this much. You should have told me sooner, Izuku. What did you think I was going to do? Tell you no? I, of all people, know you can't be stopped once you set your mind onto something. Inko was smiling and crying at the same time, and Deku succumbed to the urge to hug his mom. He just didn't want her to worry, but he caused her to worry more. He told her to take a seat and told her the full story. You and Rio ran all those tests, and you even took down those hoodlums. I'm glad that you didn't just wildly go out there unprepared. Do Oscorp proud, son. She hugs him and then smacks him upside the head. You know I'm telling your father, right? Deku took that in stride. The whole family was present for dinner. Maria, are you ready for the test in a few months? Inko asked her niece. I'll be fine, Auntie. It's not like I'm taking a test I don't even need to take. That was a jab at Deku, and he knew it. Maria was pissed that Deku was going to take the normal entrance exam or more accurately, not the normal entrance exam, but the recommendation test, period. When Yue flat out offered to have it waived completely for him. Deku was offered a golden ticket and he shredded it. FYI, Maria used that exact line on him and Rio. She was mad that he was spending so much time with her mother. He even made time to train with Katsuki. Why was she the only one being left out? Why does everyone have to hog her Deku? They used to be inseparable, especially on their birthday. Odd twist of fate. They were born on the exact same day. The two would even go as far as to act like brother and sister. Would she be mad if this was some girl he was spending his time with? Probably not, since that would mean he's finally noticing women. To be clear, Maria is not a yandere. She just misses the time she took for granted. All due respect, Maria, but I made my choice, and I expect you to be a good sister and respect it. Maria calmed down with that comment. Deku hadn't addressed her as Nei-chan in a while, but it felt nice to hear and made her fears of them drifting apart lessen. The rest of the dinner was uneventful, and Rio was happy she didn't need to scold her daughter. To be clear, Izuku is taking the practical exam. Rio had to remind him of the purpose of his mask. For a genius, he can be an idiot sometimes. His old man even sent him a line. Why in the hell are you taking the exam? You know full damn well that you don't need to take it in the first place. Just take the entry and be done with it. Your results will embarrass every other student, and that's why they gave you the offer, to which Inko and I both believe you should take. Sir, we need your attention downstairs. Sorry, Izuku. I gotta go. Love you, son. With that, Deku's dad hung up and Maria was looking triumphant. Deku rarely ever goes against his dad. Wipe that smirk off your face, Ria. Does everyone here feel that way? He said to everyone, but was looking dead at Rio, and Inko noticed that. She was jealous that her sister's opinion had more weight than hers with her son, but Rio was Deku's hero and always shall be. Rio gave her a head nod and Izuku made a call to Nezu. He partially felt that he just accepted defeat, but his father's logic was sound. Deku may be the smartest member of the family and one of the top 3 smartest people in the world, but he could never beat his father's logic. And he hated that. The next day included Maria in his training. Needless to say, she was mad that she was the last to know. Technically, my dad is the last to know. She wasn't buying that. Her uncle had eyes and ears everywhere. He most likely found out after the incident, knowing him. So, you've been training Katsuki for the exam here as well as yourself. The suit works for you, Zuzu. 3 guesses who I modeled some of Maria after. Maria's training was almost the exact same, with the addition of her using water jets to cut objects. Deku got to see something that he hadn't seen in a few months. Maria was having a massive amount of fun. Maria had work to do with her precision attacks and would have to work on her reflexes a bit. Sure, she had damn near invulnerability and super strength, but that doesn't mean the wind can't be knocked out of her sails. If that happened during a villain battle, Deku killed that thought. Rio was a better fighter, but Deku needed to face more than just her. He was an avid martial artist and knew the dangers of getting used to fighting one person. Having Rio and Bakugo around meant sparring partners. Rio had even suggested scheduling a training session or 2 with All Might. All she had to do is explain that Spider-Man is the new hero for Oscorp, and she was sure he'd come around. Deku would go back to the training facility for a few weeks, but this time he'd include Maria. You know, the danger room looking one, not the Oscorp construction site. She would never let him live it down if he didn't let her be a part of this. From the get-go, I basically made a Spider-Man who doesn't have to constantly duck and dodge his family, since they all know, and this is before the whole world ever even found out about him. Now, when I say danger room looking, imagine something way bigger, like almost like I want to say the size of the compound the Avengers have in after the Age of Ultron. That's what we're going with. Something along that size. Maria wasn't a klutz, but unlike her mother and cousin, being Izuku obviously, she wasn't a master of martial arts. Rio wanted to teach her, and Maria was going to say no, but Deku sided with Rio. Typical Zuzu, siding with my mom. Maria thought, but she knew it was the right choice. Who better to train her than someone with almost the exact same abilities? She was just being a brat and she knew it. But come on, who admits they're being immature at that age unless someone calls them out at it? At about a week later, and the press conference is scheduled for a few days from now, Spider-Man is ready to step into the light, Izuku. You've proven that you're ready for the next level. Rio went on to schedule the conference for Friday. It was currently Monday. Izuku was already granted his license, so he was swinging around and stopping local crime. Muggers, burglars, drug dealers, etc. He was looking out for the little guy. While he had aspirations for fighting crime on a grander scale, it was always great to save someone as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He got this warm feeling whenever he'd help someone. You know the one. Just as he was about to call it for the night, he heard a monstrous yowl. Time to do some hero work. Lila, locate the source, please. On it, boss. The disturbance is coming from 3rd and Main. With the exact location known to him, Spider-Man took a mighty leap and swang from his perch. A gargoyle on its tall building. Spider-Man made it there in seconds and saw All Might doing battle with some crazy huge chimera-looking creature. The fight was causing massive collateral damage. This was the moment, Deku's moment to shine. Now, I wanted to play What's Up Danger for this, but, you know, copyright and all that, so I'm not even going to bother with that. I don't want this getting muted. All Might struck the monster forwards and upwards, and it hit a building. Debris was fast approaching street level. Deku shot out webs on reflex. You're gonna need more webbing, boss. He knew that, but it helped that Lila made it so he knew exactly how much he needed. Now, I need to say one thing to people who know 2099. This one is a military level VI that Deku upgraded to aid him as Spider-Man. Lila, Miguel O'Hara's Lila, was more of a house assistant and, well, aid for his work. Once again, military grade. So think somewhere between Jarvis and Friday. The amount of calculations he needs to do have been severely lessened, and that is what she's for. Deku continues to patch up buildings and structures that get damaged while following All Might. Mr. All Might, how can I help? Deku asked as the monster we know as a Nomu was struck to the sky for a moment. To be clear, this is a prototype Nomu. Keep doing what you're doing, Spider-Man. This thing is frantic. I've tried reasoning with it, but I've got nothing. No. All Might knew who he was. That acknowledgement made him a little happy, but he had a job to do. Spider-Man tells Lila to scan the thing in the air, and her results were that whatever it was, it wasn't human. Lila shared said results with All Might via the comm he was wearing. She also explained who and what she was before he could get too confused. With that confirmation, All Might went ham on the Nomu. However, there was one problem. He was running out of time. Deku noticed that All Might was running low on steam. I'm going to say that Rio is one of the people in the know, and she may have hinted to Deku a little bit, but not get flat out told him the truth. The battle must be running its toll on him. Come on, Spider-Man, you can do this! With that thought, Deku moved into action. All Might was staggered. He was close to his limit and trying his hardest to stay in his buff form. The Nomu brought a fist down, only to taste the jolt of a taser web, which immobilized for a moment. This is only a proto-Nomu, so its power won't be as good. Close, just not quite the same. For this, we're going to say its damage resistance ain't up to snuff, and that's why the jolt worked. Deku followed up with a web pull that ended into a kick, followed by a downward swipe of his talons. He wasn't trying to bite that nasty thing. It wasn't enough to take it down, but the precious time it bought All Might was appreciated. The Nomu now focused on Deku, but Deku was leaping around and dodging its attacks while countering with his own. Accelerated vision had its perks. He's right on that Nomu. He doesn't even need the spider sense to react to it. The punch was so much slower than one from Rio. Deku jumped and landed on the fist and gave him an uppercut to toss it into the sky. All Might, Throw me at him now! Comic fans should know what this is, but I'm gonna say it anyway. All Might did as instructed and prepared Spider-Man for the fastball special. Spider-Man rears his talons, and uses the momentum to slash the Nomu, something fierce. He followed up by kicking the Nomu downwards near All Might, who clocked it as well. The Nomu was down and out for the count. The authorities arrived and All Might had to leave. Take the credit, kid. This is your win. All Might fled the scene, but even if Deku didn't take the credit, there was a camera rolling due to the brave reporter who just had to capture this new hero's debut. We got all that, right, Eddie? The reporter asked. We sure did. Let's go talk to him. The reporter and cameraman made their way to Spidey. Hi, I'm Betty Brant with Daily Bugle, and this is my cameraman Eddie Brock. Would you care to tell the people who you are? Deku realizes that they've been recording this entire time and most likely shot him helping All Might, ultimately defeating the Nomu. Deku took a deep breath. I'm Spider-Man, Oscorp's new hero. The headline was Spider-Man saves the day. He had officially arrived.